Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you, and I am participating in Laura Alberts and Miranda Weber's Scrap Madness. I am their guest designer for today. So here we go. I am working with this photo, of my daughter, and she is all dressed up crazily, and as usual, this is one of the many things that she does frequently is she will go into a room and find interesting things and do interesting things with them. In this case, she has a blanket wrapped around her head as if she's just gotten out of the shower. And she's got this crazy colored coat on. And I thought the crazy colored coat matched this paper that I have here in the background. All of the papers and embellishments that I'm using today are from Heidi Swapp's most recent collection. Color Fresh, I think it's called. And so what I did is I went ahead and I cut out this cut file that says "You Hold My Heart," and I just used white cardstock. And then I used 6x6 pads as well as complete paper, 12x12 paper, to cut out the inside portion of this cut file. I didn't cut it exactly, but I was able to get it really close, so it made it backing it so much easier. If you've never used your Silhouette software to create the backing before, I have a video that kind of shows how I did it with a different cut file, and if you click in the upper right hand corner right now, you will see that, and you will be able to look at that if you would like to. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going ahead and I am adding the different colors to the back. So the U and the My are both from 6x6 paper pad pieces, and then the Hold and Heart are from the same 12x12 paper, just using the front and the back, the A side and the B sides. And then I end up turning my paper here in a little bit, but I'm going to add this heart, this green heart, in the word heart, because I really wanted to add a little bit more green to the page at the bottom. So this paper is primarily like pink, really. And then there's a little bit of that kind of aqua color that is also in the word My, and so that's why I chose the paper for the word My. And then there's a little bit of that kind of lime green and a little bit of yellow, and so I'm gonna try to put some of that lime green all across the page and some of that kind of teal color across the page so that it draws your eye toward the photo and the other elements that I'll put on the page. So you'll see how that works in a minute. So my idea was to put this behind the D, and I was having a little problems with it, so I kind of backed off from that for a little while and went to doing some embellishments. If you are someone that follows my channel, you will know that I use tissue paper a lot on a lot of my layouts, just as something a little bit behind my photograph, just to add a little layer. I do this when I'm adding a lot of different layers, but I also do it instead of adding other pieces of pattern paper or cardstock behind my photo. In this case, I feel like there's a lot going on the layout, so I went ahead and I decided to not put any more pattern papers behind my photo. I messed with this for a little bit, and then I decided I'm just going to keep going, and I'll come back to that and make a decision as to whether I want it to go over the D or under the D, and I do that a little bit later. So I went through my ephemera pack that came in this collection, and I just grabbed some of the flowers, some of the words, sentiments that I thought might fit the layout, some of the colors maybe that I was looking for. Like I said, I wanted a little bit more of that green and the aqua, and so I pulled those things out. One of the things I've been doing lately to try to help me scrap a little bit faster and make decisions actually a little bit faster is to go through the ephemera that I think I might use and pull out the stuff that's most likely to get used. That way it's right there, it's out on my desk, and I can just pull from that, and I don't have to make too many decisions as I'm working. When I saw that tag, I really wanted to use it on the layout because it had all of the colors in it, but also where the green stripe is, it says life is colorful, and I thought that fit the idea of this super colorful jacket that she has on. And then um, also I like all the colors that are in it, and I just like the sentiment. So I wanted to add that tag somewhere, and I decided on putting that up there by the word you. The other thing that was in there, oh, that was me putting it up my finger saying, oh, I've got an idea. And so I wanted to add a little bit more green. So I went ahead and got my butterfly punch out. And I use a lot of butterflies when I'm doing layouts of my daughter, especially the more recent layouts. And there's a whole story that goes behind that. And sometime I will scrap that story. I just haven't done that yet. So let's see, where was I? So, oh, I also put the little sunglasses. She's wearing sunglasses in the photo. You kind of can't see it maybe so well in the photo, but she's wearing sunglasses, and so I thought that worked out really well. And it also, around the sunglasses are the same color as the paper that I'm using in the word my. And it's also on the background paper, kind of in the area that I'm working in right now. So another thing that I put on my layouts a lot, if you follow my channel, is that you'll see that I use a lot of tangled thread. Typically when I'm using that, it's because I want a pop of a color somewhere. I also like the texture. And so in this case, I'm using that kind of lime green color to add another pop of that over on the right bottom side. Let's see. So I'm using some pop dots there to pop up that layout there. There are some see-through elements on this page. All of the, a couple of the flowers and a couple of other elements here that I'll be adding that have words on them have, they have a little bit of a film on them that you want to peel off. You may have seen me do that a little bit earlier on. When I was working with the flowers. So that's just something to kind of be aware of and check out when you get anything that has that kind of see-through plastic kind of look. It has this film on it typically. So my tag, I put a little bit of embroidery floss in there, and that is the same color, that kind of lime green color that I'm using. Then I'm adding a few more little flowers up there. I like to do little clusters across the page, and I usually do 2 or 3 clusters depending. And in this case, I'm kind of doing 3. I'm using that paper that has llamas on it for the color, to be honest, and that was what I used for the word my. And I'm adding, I think I end up adding a couple, at least 1, if not 2, punched out butterflies from that paper just to add that color and sprinkle that color across the page. So let's see, a couple more little butterflies throughout. And then I am going to put the date up above the sunglasses there on that tag. That's kind of one of my purposes for that tag. I also added a clear element below the flowers on the bottom right that says, you are one of a kind, that I thought really kind of fit the idea of this layout as well, because she definitely is one of a kind, and when she does things like this and gets super creative, that's one of the times that I am remembering that she's one of a kind. So I really like the way this paper, when I saw this paper, this was the paper that made me like really want to purchase the collection, to be honest. I didn't know how I would use it, but when I saw this photo of her, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So this just happened in late February. This photo was taken, I think, February 23rd. And so it hasn't been around that long, but once I printed it, I was like, oh, that paper is going to work perfectly. So now I'm just trying to decide if there's any other little embellishments that I want to add. I toyed with the idea of adding some flair, but I don't end up doing that. I kind of stick with some of the butterflies and flowers. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think. Oh, so I also am going to add some enamel dots for pops of color throughout the page. I know a lot of people probably do that same thing. I toyed with the idea of putting this green down at the bottom. I feel like as I'm working on this, I'm thinking I really need something at the top and I need some more green at the bottom. And so I went ahead and looked back at my papers and I found this branding strip that was this dark pink. And what I liked about using this at the top of the page was that the word heart is in that same color, and I thought it kind of pulled your eye. It kind of feels good on your eye because it has that color at the bottom and that color at the top. I'm not sure if that really makes sense, but it does to me. And then I wanted to add a little bit of that green, and so I went back to this little stripy paper and added some of that at the bottom. That's green. And then that little word says lovely on it. And I thought that fit as well. So I'm just going to add the date here. And then I'm going to come back in. I went through my stash and found some enamel dots. And I felt like I needed a little bit more of that aqua color. And enamel dots are a great way to add little pops of color when you're pretty much done. Like, I don't really want to add a lot more to the layout because I feel like there's a lot going on with all of that color in the background. But enamel dots really just bring your eye across the page. And so I'm using some of the aqua color and then some more of that lime green and a little bit of yellow because I don't have a ton of yellow on the page. And I thought this would kind of bring it all together. And I really like the way this ended up turning out. Thanks a lot for stopping by. The close-ups are coming up, so if you like what you see, check out some of my other videos and maybe hit subscribe. Make sure you look at the other videos that are there for today. You know, I'm with Laura and Miranda today, and they're doing a layout a day, so you will get to see all of their stuff if you subscribe to them as well. So thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will see you again soon.